Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Superpowers. I'm Dawn and this is Caron.
And we have a great Spiritual Superpowers replay for you today.
So enjoy.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Spiritual Superpowers. And today we're going to talk about animal communication. Finally,
Yes.
I've had a lot of requests from viewers that we do an episode on this, so today is the day. So, if I think back, it was a little odd. It wasn't like I started with animal communication. I actually started with mediumship. I went to Marianne Kennedy to get her reading way back when, and you guys all know Marianne Kennedy by now. She's been on a lot of our episodes, and her reading just blew me away, and it opened up this whole new thinking about, you know, what was on the other side and that sort of thing. And she said to me, well, you know, you can do this too. So I signed up for classes, and it came really easily to me. But the interesting thing was, when I was doing readings, these animals would show up in the readings, and it turned out that they were former pets of the people I was doing readings for. And it was amazing to me how much happiness and peace it gave people. I think it was happening for a reason, to kind of push me in that direction. And I love animals. I've always loved animals, as you do as well. And I was like, well, what is animal communication? And when I found it, it's like psychically or telepathically communicating with live animals and your pets and stuff. I'm like, sign me up. So I found a teacher. Her name is Sheila Tricardon. You know, I signed up for her workshops right away. And again, it came really, really easily to me. So anyway, so let's talk about how I do an animal communication with a live animal. A lot of times I do a communication, and I almost prefer to do the communication when the animal is not present. And the reason why is because animals communicate to you in a different way than people communicate to you. So even though it's psychic or telepathic, they're not looking at you. They might be doing something else. They might leave the room. So it's like, it sometimes throws you off, and it certainly throws off the people around you because they don't think the communication is happening. But how I like to describe it to people is, you can do dishes at the sink and talk to someone that's standing behind you, right?
Yes.
You don't need to be looking at them. And in fact, you see this with dogs a lot. Eye contact with dogs can be a sign of aggression. So a lot of times when they're communicating with me, they look away purposefully, and it's out of respect, and actually the communication goes better that way. But it does throw people off. The only time that I found it kind of works really well with the animal present is with horses. They seem to really engage in a different way. So I like to start with a picture most of the time.
And we have one here.
Yeah, and Dawn brought a picture of her lovely dog, Betty. You know, I know Betty quite well, and Betty's a lovely dog. You've seen her. She's made a cameo in some of our videos. But I'm going to do a little communication with her right now and see if I can get some information about something that I wouldn't know. Dawn would know, but I wouldn't know. Okay? So, and then it just shows you the process. So what I do first of all is I just close my eyes and center myself. So what I need to do is just make sure my chakras are all balanced and they're rotating in a nice clockwise direction. So I'll take a moment and do that. And then I want to ground myself. And what I do is I visualize roots growing from my tailbone and my feet into the ground and going into the center of the earth and finding a bar. I visualize a bar that they wrap those roots around, And so they're solid. Those roots are solid in there. So I'll just do that for a moment. Good. And then from those roots, I draw the energy up from the earth and bring it right up through my body and let it come out of my crown chakra. As it leaves my crown chakra, you know, there's a beam of white light that goes into the universe, and that's my connection with the universe. Okay? Yeah. So now I'm ready, I'm centered to communicate. And then I would look at the picture, I'd stare at the picture. And so I need to see the animal's eyes. I stare right into the animal's eyes until I can visualize the photo in front of me with my eyes closed. I notice the animal starts to move. And once the animal starts to move, in that image in my mind, I know we're connected. And then I can open my eyes, and then I just start asking questions. So Betty, tell me something about yourself that your mom Dawn knows that I don't know. Okay, so I got an answer right away, and the answer when you ask a question, how you distinguish a psychic or a spirit-based answer, like you're almost not finished asking the question. So if you have to think about it or wait, it's kind of your own thought. So she was talking about having a little habit of digging.
She's been digging, like, to make herself comfortable.
Okay,
She's been,
so even on the, like her blanket and stuff?
Yeah, which she didn't do before.
Okay, so this is new. Okay, I'm asking her why. Okay, so again, answer like, it's a grounding technique.
That's so interesting, because you know when she does it the most is when she's at work with me.
Oh, so she's needing to ground the
Yeah.
energy of people.
I guess, yeah, as I'm doing all that
So
work.
she's doing that for you.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
So great, yes.
So that's cool. Okay, let me just see if she can. Okay. Okay, so I know this about Betty. She used to, and I'm saying used to, have a habit of backing into a room in your old house, but she doesn't do that anymore.
No, she doesn't do that. And which for entertainment purposes.
It was cool.
It was so funny. But the fact that she was so anxious, that meant that she was afraid of something.
Yeah, and she told me she doesn't do that anymore, and she thinks that I'd be proud of her for that. But I didn't know that for sure, but she told me that. Well, you can confirm that.
I can, right? Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and she does say she's very happy in her new
good.
home, and yeah, she's very comfortable there. So, I mean, I could go on and on asking
I actually
questions.
do have a question.
Oh, yes.
Can we get her opinion on Sully?
On Sully, okay.
It's been a while since we've asked.
Okay. The relationship is better. Sully doesn't boss around as much as he used to. She was a little jealous of him, not so much anymore, but still likes to. She still likes to have her me time. But I would say the relationship overall definitely seems like a lot better.
It has gotten so much better.
Okay.
So they do get a lot of independent one-on-one time as well as
group time, which is both are important. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good.
I wanted to also touch on the fact that I also do readings for animals and spirit. As I learn from every animal I communicate with, whether it's a live animal or in spirit. I remember this one. And the dog showed me, this was an animal in spirit, the dog showed me licking food off a spoon. And now, I spoil my animals, and I would always give them like food off my spoon if they wanted it, right? And I thought everyone did that. Apparently not. So I almost didn't say that. Finally, I just said, I am seeing you feeding your dog off a spoon. And this woman burst out in tears. And it turned out that the dog had a nasal tumor. So if the dog put its head down to eat, it would bleed. So she had to feed the dog for the last few months of its life with a spoon. And I almost didn't say it, right? You know,
Yes.
and it was the most beautiful, connected part of the reading that they're
the real validation.
right.
Yeah.
And so I'm still learning with every reading that I do, which is very cool.
In your readings, people contact you for so many different reasons. They contact you for a loved one that's passed, trying to figure out maybe some behavioral issues that their animal might have,
Yes.
a lost animal. Like you've done all kinds of different types of readings for people because there's a magnitude and just even curiosity. I mean, like I've had my animals read, and it just gives you that nice insight into their perspective.
And sometimes when there's a behavior issue, sometimes people will say, you know, I want to change this behavior. And I say, well, that may or may not happen. But what we want to do is we want to understand that behavior. And we just want to understand each other better. So I can't guarantee that the behavior will change. I can give you some ideas on how. But I think once we understand the animal's perspective and why they're doing it, it makes it so much easier to work with.
Well, one of my favorite readings that you've explained, and I would love for you to tell our audience the stories that you...
Oh yeah, so this was one of my first professional readings too, so it was kind of cool. But so this woman had bought a new chair and spent a fair amount of money, and so brought it into the house, and then the cat started like clawing it, like just constantly, but the cat just wouldn't leave the chair alone, and she was a little distressed because she had spent a lot of money on the chair. What can I do? Blah blah blah. So anyway, I tuned into the cat, and the cat thought that her owner bought the chair for her, and this is her chair. Understanding that, then we could work with the animal, and this is Mummy's chair, and maybe get a piece of furniture for the cat, right? You know, so you're working with the cat and the behavior, because obviously there was a desire for a piece of furniture of its very own. So
and a miscommunication.
and a miscommunication, and that's often what it is miscommunication. So it's very fascinating. I am starting to do a new service.
Yes.
And it is spirit animal readings. So, how did this start? So this started with Shona Lozon when we did a episode with her. So during our session, I kind of admitted, I know that one of my spirit animals is hawk, because I could tell you amazing stories that involve hawks that are would just blow your mind. And she said, oh yes, you're very hawkish. And then she also kind of tuned into a lynx that was around me at the time. And so Dawn heard all of this, but then, you know, we all went home. And Shona emailed me that night because she couldn't get this thought out of her mind. She could see me and a big polar bear around me. I didn't tell Dawn this, and so then a couple days later, Dawn shows up at my door, and she had a Christmas gift for me.
This was 4 months later. It arrived 4 months later.
Yeah, so this was February. She had ordered it in November, and I'll show you what it was. Dawn adopted me a polar bear from the World Wildlife Fund. And I'm like, oh my God. She said, yeah, I know, I adopted you a polar bear. I said, yeah, no, that's awesome. Like, absolutely awesome, but there's more to it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So I said, you gotta wait right here. So when Shona told me about the polar bear being around me, I immediately looked for my spirit animal cards, and I looked up polar bear. So I'll read you what it says. Polar bear, or mystic. Know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. Oh my gosh, you know, I mean, I've been going through a few things lately, and this card just blew me away. And then Dawn shows up with a polar bear that she's adopted for me that she had ordered like 4 months before. And I think it was delayed because the physical polar bear and the spirit of the polar bear needed to show up at the same time to send me a powerful message.
I agree, because even it's not like we've talked about polar bears. Like, I don't know why I chose a polar bear.
Yeah, you said that, and there were so
There's
many
so
animals
many
to
animals,
choose from.
and that's the one that I picked.
Yeah. So that was cool. And so now I'm doing spirit animal readings for people. And, you know, because this is something I'm doing that's a little new and I'm getting used to it, I'm going to charge for it, but the proceeds are going to go to Polar Bears International to save polar bears from extinction, because it really is a big problem with climate change and everything.
So nice. So if you are interested in having your own spirit animal read, your animal energy picked out and described for you, click on the link below to Caron's website, and yeah, like she said, all the proceeds will go to save the beautiful polar bears.
And then I guess to finish off, I also want to say, just pay attention to all the animals around you. Your pets, the wild animals, they send you messages all the time, and I think Shona talked about that, but they really do. So pay attention. You know, the animals are here to send us messages to help us along our way. This was fun.
This was fun. Thank you so much for reading Betty. Thank you, Betty. And thank you.
And thank you, Polar Bear.
And we'll see you again.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you an update since we filmed this video. I took some time off of animal communication. I was on some medication that caused me to lose my voice. And so you can't really communicate messages from animals to people when you can't speak. So I took about 3 months off, and now I'm back into it. My voice is still a little raspy, but it's getting better all the time. So I wanted to let you know that I am still doing animal communication, but I've had a lot of requests to help teach people how to communicate with their own pets, whether they're alive or whether they've passed on. So you can look forward to some videos helping to explain how to do that. And the other thing that I want to do is also teach people how to connect with spirit animals. And there's so much we could get into with spirit animals. So I'm excited to bring that sort of information to you as well. So hope you are interested in it, and you'll see those videos coming sometime soon.